Hey gang, so I'm down here in the garage today with my bike and we're going to be getting ready to head out on a trip. Now, as I've been telling you guys over the course of the last few months, my buddy Kevin and I are heading up to Nova Scotia. Again, starting tomorrow, I'm heading up to New Hampshire to meet up with Kevin, and then we're going to be heading up to Nova Scotia. Now, on this trip, we're doing something a little bit different. I was up in Nova Scotia back in 2012, and we had a great time. It was beautiful up there, but we didn't get to see all of the island because we just didn't have quite enough time. So this time, we're going to be traveling from one end to the other, and we're going to be doing what's called the Four Corners trip. Now, what this Four Corners of Nova Scotia adventure is all about is that a gentleman who lives up in Halifax put together these four landmarks that you can ride to, take pictures of your motorcycle, of course, with you in it, and the landmark, and then submit these to get a certificate that you completed this Four Corners trip. Now, honestly, I don't really care about getting the certificate, but this does sound like a fun trip. Kevin found out about it online and said, hey, you want to do this with me? And I said, yeah, absolutely. Sounds great. So we're going to go up and do that trip. We're taking 15 days, or I think it'll be 16 for me because I have one more day coming home from New Hampshire. But overall, it's going to be a 15-day trip for the both of us. And we're going to go up, ride the Cabot Trail. Both directions is what we're planning. And then, of course, we're going to go down to Halifax, spend some time in that area, Peggy's Cove, all of the usual places that everybody has to see when you go to Nova Scotia. But we're also going to these other more interesting locations that, as we go through the trip, I'll tell you all about. Now, at the end of the video, I do have one other thing that I would like to share with you. So stick with me. And I've got some, well, unfortunately, some sad news to relay. And do me a favor, and if you like what we're doing here, please subscribe and help me get up to that 100,000 subscriber number. Now, over the last 14 years, I've done a lot of packing videos. So I'm not going to go through a detailed accounting of everything that I'm bringing, but we'll just show you the basics of how I go about packing. So here's all of the stuff that I'm going to be bringing on this trip. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I break my clothing up into two categories: on-bike clothing and off-bike clothing. I take clothing for usually 3 to 4 days. On this trip, I'm going 3 days I'm packing for. So what I do is I have my LD Comfort base layers, that is a shirt. I have 2 short sleeve shirts and 1 long sleeve shirt that I'm bringing. I have 3 pair of waterproof socks that I'll be bringing, and then 3 pair of LD Comfort, again, base layers for my lower body. And again, I have 2 short length shorts and then 1 pair of long tights. Now, let me explain to you that typically, this 3 days worth of clothing lasts longer than that. I usually can go, well, about a week with just those 3 pair of base layers, right? And how I do that is this stuff doesn't really get super sweaty and stinky, which is one of the things I love about the LD Comfort base layers. As long as I keep myself clean, those stay pretty clean. If I'm on a day that gets really sweaty, well, I can just rinse them out in the sink, let them dry overnight, and I can wear them again. And then once a week, when we get to a hotel where there's laundry, well, then we can go ahead and launder them, get them all cleaned up. The same thing goes for my off-bike clothing. I have 3 pair of underwear, 3 pair of socks, some convertible pants, right, and then some t-shirts, right, to wear. And again, that's all I really need. I'm not getting these things really dirty, right? I'm just sleeping basically at night. So I can wear them multiple times before they need washing. I know some of you will think that's gross. Ew. One thing I'm doing different this trip is that I have a new pair of shoes. These are a pair of what they call grounding shoes. So they're really lightweight. They really pack nice and light, and they're really comfortable. They're basically like going barefoot, which is the whole point of the shoe. So we're going to try those on the trip. I've been wearing them to the gym, and they're really awesome. So again, they pack really nice and tight. So other things I will be carrying are my mid layers. Right, this is an insulated layer and then a waterproof lining that I wear, again, if we get caught in a storm. This down here, that's my heated gear. Now, I'm hoping that I don't have to use it, but I think I'm going to bring it along just in case, because it is June and you never know. And back there, I've got my AEROSTICH Darien jacket and my AEROSTICH AD1 pants that I'll be wearing. And over here, well, that's my Schuberth modular helmet. I haven't been wearing that on trips, so I want to try it this time. I want the convenience of the modular helmet. So let's take all that downstairs and start putting it in the bike. So in my left side bag here, that's where I stick my clothing. So I've got both my on-bike, off-bike clothing in there. And then here at the end, normally I would put my shoes. But now that I have those lightweight shoes that I'm going to bring along, they fit inside the bag, so I have this extra space, and that is where my personal care items are going to go. In the right side pannier, well, we're going to have my mid layers and my heated gear, and then extra gloves are going to go up there in the front. And also in that right bag at the bottom are my tools, keeping the heavy stuff down low, and my Fantic tire pump and my battery jump starter. That all goes in that right-hand side bag. One of the things that I do every night as part of my security routine is keep my bike covered. So this is a Nelson Rig waterproof adventure cover. So it's pretty bulky. I mean, it's not too bad. I can get it in a saddlebag pretty easy. But to save a little bit of space, I'm going to put it in this dry spec bag, right, and then strap it to my seat. And that's what I did on the way to Alaska, and it worked out really well. So after playing around with that dry spec bag, I decided the waterproof bag that the cover came in was probably a better option. So I got that strapped down. Now, I could, again, put that in my saddlebag and not have to worry about strapping it down every night. But what this gives me by doing this is a completely empty top case. So my electronic stuff and, you know, my wallet, things like that that are important, they will go up in here. But I'll still have a lot of extra space, so I might be able to stash my helmet if we go in somewhere, or definitely if we need some groceries or what have you, then I'll have that extra space. So after packing all of that stuff, the only thing I have left is my personal care items and then my electronic stuff, and we'll go in and start working on that in a minute. But I want to show you something else. I had talked about this in one other video and people had some questions about it. So I decided that I wanted to try something different with my hydration system. In the past, I've worn a backpack with a hydration bladder in it, or I have a hydration bladder that fits inside of a tank bag. So both of those are good options and they have worked, but I wanted to try something different. So I went out and I found myself this little bracket right here, and it is made for, you know, carrying a water bottle on a bicycle or something like that. But I adapted it to go in my panniers here, right? I had to drill my panniers and, of course, put some bolts in there and make sure that nothing is leaking, and so far so good. But I mounted that to my panniers, and then also you see here, right, these are two little brackets that I put in here, right, to attach some straps to. So let me show you my hydration bottle that I'm going to put here and show you how all of this works. So here's how the bottle mounts to the side of my pannier, or the front of my pannier actually. Again, it has that little bracket on it that does have a little foot that supports the bottom of this bottle. Some people, when they first saw that, were concerned that I didn't have any bottom support. Well, come on, I'm not that dumb, right? So Anyway, then I made these straps up that hold the bottle in place, and it's quite solid. It's not going anywhere. I've been over some bumpy roads and so forth, and the bottle doesn't go anywhere. So as I said, now this is a half-gallon Hydro Flask container, insulated container, 64 fluid ounces. So that should last me a good long time. And, you know, I'm going to be stopping every few hours anyway, so, you know, I'll be refilling this bottle as I need it. On a typical day, if it's really hot out, I might refill my hydration bladders with, you know, 100 to 200 milliliters of fluid in it, probably 3 to 4 times, right? Drinking more than a gallon of fluid. But with this, I only need to stop and refill a couple of times, right, on a hot day. At least that's typically the way that I would do it. Now, the one thing that has been a little bit of an issue with using this is how to manage this thing, right? Because now it's attached to the bottle here, right? And then it has to come up to my mouth in some fashion. So I could mount it on my chest, you know, like I do with a hydration bladder, or I can mount it to the bike here. But when I do that, of course, it's sitting across my lap or across my body. So when I get off the bike, I of course forget that it's there, and the thing goes flying. And sometimes it has fallen off, and Kevin had to remind me on the Catskills trip that I was dragging my little hose here. So let me show you what I've come up with, and we'll see on this trip if this is a good solution or not. So what I did was I put a piece of Velcro here on top of my pannier, and then I found this on Amazon, and this is a magnetic latch or attachment for the hydration bladders. So there's a magnet on both sides of this, and then it just attaches right there. And it seems pretty solid. So all I'm going to have to do is then reach down, come up and drink, and then snap that right back in place. All right, so I think that's going to work pretty well. But again, I'll let you know while we're out there on the road. Now, if you are interested in trying something like this on your bike, well, then I'll let you know how it works, of course. But I will also list all of the parts that I used. I'm going to go back and see if I can find all of them. I found a few of these things on Amazon, right? And then this hose I had to buy from a company that makes them specially for the Hydro Flask here. So again, I'll list all of that so you could do something like this yourself if you think it's a cool idea. Now I'm down here in the basement, and we're going to grab my electronic stuff. So first I'm going to take my InReach here. That's getting charged up. And also I'm going to take this MicroStart XP10. Now I already have a jump battery in my side case, but I'm going to take this because my Cardo has been having trouble staying charged longer than about 8 hours. So while we stop for food or something, I'm going to charge it up with this. And then, of course, I have here, there's all my cables that I need. I have some extra SD cards. There's a charger with 5 ports on it. The batteries for my 360 camera. That's the remote for the 360 camera. So I'm going to take that, and then this over here, that is my Chromebook with all of the things that go along with the Chromebook. There are 2 backup discs that I would carry with that as well. So along with that stuff, of course, I'm going to be carrying my cell phone. I'll be doing these little talking head videos as well as I shoot my still images with my cell phone. And then I'm also going to have a little tripod that I'll carry with me. Now, I know that all sounds like a lot, but in reality, it fits in the top case really easy. So that leaves me pretty much packed for this trip. I still have my personal care items, and I will fill up that hydration tank as well. So I guess that gets to then the sad news that I have to share with you. And I try not to overshare personal items, you know, here on the channel, but I do want to share this one with you because, see, Mickey here is going to go along with me on this trip. And the reason that he is because my brother-in-law passed just a couple of days ago at 63 years old. And he really loved Mickey Mouse and Disneyland stuff. So said Mickey is going to go along with me as my way of taking my brother-in-law Rob along with me on this trip. Now, I know what you're saying. You probably saying, well, why the hell are you going on this trip and leaving your family? Well, that's because, one, there's not going to be a ceremony right away. We're going to do that probably later on during the month of July when we have a chance to plan some things and to get all of his friends and loved ones from all around the country, because there are a lot of them who want to come in and participate in this celebration of his life. Rob is a fantastic guy, one of the most loving people that you would ever want to meet. And it's going to be a hard one, but like I said, he's going to come along with me in some little fashion on this trip. And my wife and all of her family said, Craig, no, you have to keep going. You have to go on this trip because Rob wouldn't want to be the reason that you didn't go out and said, see Nova Scotia and do this trip. And they're absolutely right. That is exactly the kind of person that he was. So, anyway, I don't know what else to say here. Just, this is for you, Rob. We're doing this for you, and we're going to miss you. So that's it. Learn something from Rob's untimely demise here, that we have no idea how long we have on this earth. Some of us get 90 years and some of us only get 60 years. And we have to live every moment to the fullest. And as Rob did, we need to live it with love for each other, not all this rage and hate that is going along in today's world. All right? Live it with love. All right, guys, ride safe. I'll see you out on the road. And, of course, keep squeezing that lemon.